Today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down what I believe to be the best investments that are under $10 right now. Now, before we get into that, I did want to say a little bit about our membership program because we've had some handful of picks that have done extremely well. One of them being Dirk Nowitzki's 1998 Topps Chrome PSA 10. On May 29th, we recommended it for around $800. Most recently, as you can see here, last sold is $1,300. Another great pick we've had is Kawhi Leonard's 2012 Prism Silver, which we recommended in June for around $4,900. And the most recent sale of that was $7,800, and it's still going up. So we're always kind of one step ahead of the market, figuring out what the next card is that people are going to be looking at. One other guy we predicted was Trey Lance. Just a lot of predictions that have done really well over time. So if you would like to join in on the program, we have picks as low as $10 all the way up to close to $100,000. So if you are interested in joining one of the programs, the link is down below to sportscardsinvest.com. And yeah, you can join in if you want to make some money with us. But without further ado, we are going to hop right into the video. So the first card that I believe is a very good investment right now is James Wiseman's Optic Holo rookie cards. James Wiseman has never really had the true opportunity to showcase his talents. He's been injured for a very significant percentage of, his short career thus far. But given the Warriors, spotlight with Steph, Clay, Draymond, Jordan Poole now, Andrew Wiggins, they have pretty much half their games as national TV games, and the Warriors are the best team in the league as of now. Now, James Wiseman is going to be their starting center starting next year. So, of course, with Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry really owning the three-point line, Wiseman has a real shot to dominate the paint because of all the attention that's going to go towards the three-point line when you guard the Warriors. I truly believe that a player like James Wiseman with this skill set has a really good opportunity to just absolutely dominate the paint and put up some big numbers. Now, James Wiseman, some guy who I have been personally looking after, very much just tracking his prices over the last, 1 year or so. And I think now is coming to the time where it's a very good opportunity to be buying it into his cards. His Optic Holo for the longest time was $20+. If we look at the recent sales, some are ending as low as $7.50. If you can get these under $10, I definitely believe it's a very good time to get into James Wiseman's card market. I think it's a low risk, high reward investment in terms of, the Warriors being a starting player in the first place for the Warriors, with all of the hype around him being the number 2 pick, all of his potential with him, with the jump shot, just everything he has going for him, I think is really lined up for a great season. So that's why I'm personally investing in James Wiseman. Now, without further ado, we are going to hop right into our next pick, which is going to be Donovan Mitchell. With Rudy Gobert leaving the Jazz, I think there is a very good chance that Donovan Mitchell ends up on another team within the next year or so. That's my personal prediction, and I think it's a very low risk, high reward investment. Utah's a very small market team, right? Where the fan base is fairly small compared to other bigger markets. And I think if Mitchell ends up in a team like the Knicks or the Miami Heat in a big city with all the spotlight on him being the star player, putting up, even if he plays exactly like he was in Utah, I think his prices are just going to greatly appreciate. And I definitely think Mitchell has the game, right? He puts up the stats. He has the game. He's very fun to watch, very athletic, great three-point shooter, everything. He has the whole package, and he's still super young. The only thing he's missing is that attention and hype around him. We see a lot of hype going towards guys like Trae Young. Of course, anybody who joins the Knicks or the Heat or any other big market team's going to get all the attention around them and the hype around them. And I think that's what's really missing for Mitchell's card market. Now, if he does end up going to the Knicks or Miami Heat, I definitely think his prices are going to take a significant jump. And if he doesn't, I think his prices are going to stay pretty stagnant, if not go up slowly over time. So I think it's a good low risk, high reward investment, which I always look for. If I can find an investment where, if all goes wrong, I'm still not losing too much, but if all goes right, I'm making 5-10x, I will definitely go for it. And so that's why I personally believe Mitchell is a very good investment right now. Without further ado, we're going to hop right into our next pick, and that's going to be Jaren Jackson and his Optic rookie card. Jaren Jackson's one of those players who has the size and mobility, which I think is extremely rare in today's NBA. He's a 6'11 player who moves like, a point, not quite a point guard, but, can really move and shoot the ball as well. So, at the end of the day, he's been injured for a great amount of his career, which I think has really held back his prices. But I definitely think another solid season from Jaren Jackson, another healthy season, and we're going to start to see his market take off. On top of that, the Grizzlies, are just beginning on their journey, right? They had a great year last year, a very surprising year last year, and I think a lot more attention is going to be on the Grizzlies moving forward. And Jaren Jackson is kind of their number 2 guy, right behind Ja Morant. I think in the young core, maybe not the second best player right now, but I think in the young core, Jaren Jackson's right up there as one of the reasons for the Grizzlies' success. So I definitely think, Jaren Jackson's movements, his shot, his, mobility at his height reminds me a lot of Kevin Durant. Not saying he's going to turn into Kevin Durant, but I think he's definitely got a great shot to have an incredible career if he can stay healthy. So I definitely think it's a good time to be buying it up as the Grizzlies are likely going to be in the conversation in the Western Conference next year, given how well they played last year and how young they are. So I definitely think Jackson's a great buy right now. Without further ado, we will hop right into our next pick, and that is going to be Pascal Siakam. Pascal is one of those guys who's been really out of the radar for the last few months and years, in fact, since the Raptors won in 2019. I think Siakam, to be honest, is going to end up getting traded somewhere, or what's going to happen is that Toronto is going to really build their young core with Siakam, Scotty Barnes, and they're going to develop together. But regardless, I think Siakam's one of those players who's proven he can be an incredible second option on a team. Can he lead a team? I don't think so as of now, given his skill set. But I think when a lot of attention's away from him, when they have a star player on the team like Kawhi or a Scotty Barnes, if he turns into a star player, I think Siakam's going to be a very great second option down the line. And I definitely think buying now, while his prices are really, depressed, I think it's a great time to be buying these up. On top of this, 2016 Prism, incredibly low population. So the upside is that much more given the, populations are so low, supply is low, so demand, as soon as that shoots up, I think his prices are going to go up. And if he does get traded, that's another big plus that can help explode his card market. Without further ado, we will hop right into our next pick, and that is going to be another one of those low-risk, high-reward investments. And I think that is going to be the case for Pau Gasol. Of course, we know the long-awaited Kobe Bryant documentary is going to likely come out very soon. I know we've been saying that for a while, but when it does, I think people are going to realize how great of a player Pau Gasol was. And not only that, but I think the international aspect of this investment makes it a very great investment. As we know, sports cards continue to grow worldwide. They continue to hit new countries. We continue to see more shows in new countries that you never expected. And I think Europe is really one of those places that's going to really expand into sports cards very soon. I think Fanatics taking over is just going to broaden the audience worldwide. And I think as overall Europe becomes bigger into basketball, and Spain, for example, I think they're going to cherish their greats. And Pau Gasol is one of the greatest European players of all time, likely the best Spanish player of all time. And I think that's going to really cause a great amount of demand for his cards in the long term. And of course, Gasol was a 6-time All-Star, back-to-back champion. He was pretty much like, that Scottie Pippen to Jordan. That was kind of like Pau Gasol to Kobe Bryant. So I definitely think his prices are very undervalued, very low population, 2001 Topps Chrome. So definitely a great time to be investing in Pau Gasol, in my opinion. Without further ado, we will hop right into our next pick, and that is going to be Dwayne Wade and his 2003 Topps rookie card. As we know, 2003 Topps is LeBron's rookie year. It's always going to have a great amount of demand just because there's so many eyeballs looking at the set, and Dwayne Wade is the second best player in the set. On top of that, Dwayne Wade is a lock for the Hall of Fame class of 2023, and he's staying very relevant post-career in many ways. I definitely think, overall for a 13-time All-Star, a 3-time champion, an MVP, and he's just like a face of Miami, right? I definitely think that makes his prices very undervalued in the macro, just in terms of his relevance, his playing career, his ties to LeBron, the fact that 2003 Topps is such a popular set. I think his prices are going to do really great in the long term. So I definitely think it's a good time to be buying up Wade's cards. I think it's a low risk, high reward, long-term investment that I believe could really pay off. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, if you would like to join in on the program, the link will be down below to sportscardsinvest.com. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm out. Peace.